Conflict is a word few of us really like to use, let alone get engaged in, as we may run the risk of losing the relational capital we have with our fellow employees. Statistically speaking, is toxic or unresolved conflict one of the biggest drivers of employee disengagement and a major contributor to the escalating cost of doing business. It has been estimated that managers spend at least 25% of their time resolving workplace conflicts, causing lower morale and office performance. Forbes conducted a study indicating that interpersonal conflict presents itself in one or more of the following ways: bullying, harassment, burnout, high levels of unhealthy stress, low morale, as well as the formation of office gangs and those dreaded silos. Author and business consultant Patrick Lencioni goes on to say, and I quote, "This kind of conflict I'm referring to is not the nasty kind that centers around people or personalities. Rather, it is what I call productive ideological conflict, the willingness to disagree, even passionately when necessary, around important issues and decisions that must be made. This can only happen when there's trust. Conflict without trust, however, is politics, which is an attempt to manipulate in order to win an argument regardless the truth." As critical as conflict is it important to understand that different people, different families, and different cultures participate in conflict in different ways, and that's okay. What's not okay is for a team member to avoid disagreement, hold back their opinions on important matters, and choose their battles carefully based on the likely cost or outcome of the disagreement. When people fail to be honest with one another or about an issue they disagree on, will their disagreement around the issue fester and ferment and over time transform into frustration around a person or a group and not the issue anymore, essentially deciding to tolerate a colleague rather than trust him or her. To mitigate that tendency, must team members be open and vulnerable enough to explain their conflict tendencies to one another, and then find common ground. Conflict tendencies and triggers. What do they have in common? And what about competing and collaboration makes you uncomfortable? The answer lies in session 4 and boils down to the various ways we handle conflict in a healthy manner.